the numbers that you're seeing now and which are published, these are all Eicher Motors Consolidate now only refers to Royal Enfield business because of the new accounting standard, our joint venture profitability and has gone now to absolute bottom line. So yeah, all the numbers that you're seeing is Royal Enfield numbers. We've had our best ever sales once again, net income of 1,550 plus crores and a very solid bottom line, an EBITDA of 470 crores, and for the first time we've crossed 30% in EBITDA. So that's a big milestone for us. I guess it's come from, where it's come from is many years ago. All the hard work that we've done over the last decade, it's resulted in motorcycles like this beautiful one here that you see in front of you, the Himalayan, which is really taking off well in the market. It's resulted in motorcycles like those there, which is the Classic 350, which is just absolutely gaining ground even now. And basically what's been happening is because we built a really strong franchise, Classic particularly, Bullet of course is also there, and now stuff like the Himalayan. What's happening is that in smaller markets there's a huge demand. So we are able to go down to smaller and smaller markets across India, and we're able to get dealers and get a franchise there. And out of no market, after setting up a dealership, we're getting 20-30 sales a month in new markets. So that's where that big growth is coming from, which you're seeing in the top line and the bottom line and all of that. Yeah.
Talking specifically about Royal Enfield, going forward, do you think these kind of margins can be continued, looking at the product mix coming from the higher bikes like Himalayan?
Yeah, so from a product mix perspective, we're not badly off. All of our products do well. It's not like we have one which is pulling it down or anything else. So we don't have major issues on product mix. We are growing, so as we grow, we continue to get economies of scale on the one hand, able to reduce material costs. We're getting operating leverage on the other hand. So as we grow, we continue to expand our margins. Having said that, we're also spending a lot more now. So we've got what used to be attracting a few thousand customers, now we have to attract many lakhs of customers per month, right? Those costs go up. What was a single product line has now become multiple product lines. What was a single small plant has become these huge plants here. So our costs are rising. We're going to international markets where our revenues are low but our costs are higher right now. We're doing a lot of new things across the board. We're systemizing a lot of things which used to be manual in the organization. All of those take costs. So the costs are rising, but even now they're less than the pace that our top line is going up. So therefore you're still seeing continued growth in margin.
And talking about Volvo Eicher commercial vehicle, what kind of product mix you had in last quarter? What kind of market share you had? And going forward, what is the outlook, especially on the commercial vehicle segment?
So we've had an absolutely phenomenal quarter from a market share perspective and also from a growth perspective in VECV. That's our joint venture with Volvo for trucks. In the first time that we've crossed 6% market share in heavy duty. That was our biggest aim in my last 10-15 years of working in the truck area, was to consistently cross 1,000 truck sales, heavy duty truck sales a month in the Indian market. Last quarter we did 3,200 heavy duty trucks. That's apart from of course the many thousands of light and medium duty trucks, and we crossed 6% market share. So I'm delighted about our performance in heavy duty trucks. We always said that once we cross the 1,000 units a month in heavy duty trucks, we get into the positive and the virtuous cycle where we have more visibility in the market, where our resale price starts rising, our dealer viability goes up, and consumers are more interested in our brand, and therefore we get price realization as well. So all of that hopefully is going to start kicking in now in trucks. Having said that, we're not staying back on medium duty as well. And medium duty we've grown from 32% to 34% market share, which is again a phenomenal rise considering the fact that at the start of our joint venture 8 years ago, we were 25% market share and our big competitor was 50. So there was a 25% market share gap. Now there's a 6% market share gap. So we are slowly closing in on becoming the number one player in light and medium duty trucks. That's a big thing as well for us.
That commodity prices are going up. What kind of margin pressure you are facing, and when will you take that tough call, or that call of raising prices?
we're getting a lot of efficiencies as well. So commodity prices are going up, but as we scale, we're getting efficiencies. So we're able to get some of that commodity pricing cost increase out through much more efficient processes. Plants like this, suppliers which are co-located, we're getting lower costs all the time as well. Having said that, on the motorcycle side, we do have some price flexibility. We took a price increase in January. We're able to continue to take small price increases every now and then. Till now, it's not affected us. So if and when commodity prices do start hitting us, I believe on the motorcycle side we do have some flexibility on price. On the truck side, it's a bit tougher. While we've grown well, we've got an EBITDA this quarter in trucks also of 9%, which is really good. The pressure on discounts is still extremely high in the market. So with that kind of pressure on discounts, it's not easy to take much of a price increase. Having said that, we have our ways and means of trying to figure out how to get better realization out of each of our products. So we're still doing well across the board, and we're not worried about commodity price increase beyond a point.
And talking about again commercial VECV, government is focusing a lot on emission norms now. There are talks of scrapping of commercial vehicles. What kind of opportunity do you see there?
Well, on the larger scheme of things, we're doing a lot of work now, both on the VECV side and Royal Enfield side. We've rejigged our entire product strategy in order to meet the Bharat Stage 6 norms, which have been announced for 2020. And 2020 is not far. It takes 3 years to develop a ground-up new motorcycle. So we've done the planning of that. We're now executing our product development in order to design products which will meet very stringent Bharat Stage 6 emission norms. So that's underway for now. And we support the government in whatever they ask us for. So if they think we need to scrap some trucks, we'll be there. We'll support that endeavor, and we'll make sure that we provide the new trucks which are required to replace, and any other stuff that's to be done in order to dispose of trucks, etc. That's all part of our program. That's very much part of our endeavor to make sure that as the country grows, that we make sure that the environmental consequences of being a commercial vehicle player or a motorcycle player, that we are cognizant of that and we support in that.
Coming back to motorcycles, here we see a number of Himalayan motorcycles parked here. Where do you see the future of Himalayan? From here on, what kind of expansion plans you have, including Himalayan and including the other bikes? You have always good waiting lists on your bikes.
So firstly, it makes me delighted to see so many Himalayans around me. It just gives me a lot of pleasure to see this. This is all a single shift's production. They're all going to be going out very soon and meeting their new owners. And so yeah, so that delights me tremendously. The Himalayan is a new category that we are creating, and we want to make sure that we nurture the category. We want to make sure that people understand it for what it is. We believe we've struck a chord with people who would like to go out on adventures. We know, everyone knows what Indian roads are like. So even if you're not going in a crazy off-road environment, the long suspension travel that you have here, the 220 mm ground clearance that you have there, the long suspension travel here, people in India love that because it's comfortable, it's intrinsically comfortable, this motorcycle. It does a really good job. It's high. Why do people like SUVs in India? Because they sit high in a car. Here, the posture is high, but you can still get your feet on the ground if you're not extremely tall. So I think we've configured this motorcycle remarkably. So with all the travel suspension ground clearance, it's still not as tall as it could have been. So it's still good for our height, for example. So I think this motorcycle has a tremendous future because we are creating a category which didn't exist in the country. Perhaps similar to the category of classic motorcycles that we created in the country, and now it's become 50,000 motorcycles a month, which is which is tremendous. Now, I can't see that happening necessarily for this, but what I can see is that if we nurture the segment properly and the category, it'll grow way beyond what our expectations are. So, yeah, we're very excited.
No doubt Himalayan is a brilliant platform, a brilliant bike. From here on, will you invest more money and will you bring more improvements? What the feedback have you got so far for Himalayan?
Oh yeah, I mean, we're only at the start of our entire investment curve really in terms of products. So there's a huge amount of effort going to product. If you just think about the scale of what we are working on right now, in pure infrastructural terms, we are on our path to building a full new state-of-the-art, ground-up technical facility in the UK, which is a full-service technical facility, and that's coming up in around 6-8 months' time. We'll have the full service. We have now 70 engineers in our UK Tech Center. Our plan at this point of the year was to have much less, but we've just grown and grown because we found excellent capability there. We're on track to building out a 4.5-acre, 400,000 square feet size of technical facility in Chennai, which will be ready end of 2017 or early 2018. So firstly, there's a huge amount of investment going into the infrastructure and hardware from our side. Then we're attracting a very good caliber of people. Now that Royal Enfield is also shining and doing well, we're able to attract excellent engineers. And so all that hardware, software, people is going into improving and creating new products. So improving existing products, we have that technical muscle now to be able to invest in Himalayan and in all of our other products and in new products. So there's tremendous amount of work. We're delighted with that.
Siddharth, it's been a year since we last met on Polaris, Eicher Polaris launch. How has been the performance? Are you a bit disappointed that product is not in the market or has not done well in the market as much as expected?
Yeah, so the Multix is also a groundbreaking new endeavor of a product. The only difference between that and a product like this is that there we don't have a brand backing it up as strong as Royal Enfield. We don't have a distribution backing it up as strong as Royal Enfield. So it takes more time. It's also a new category which people have never bought into. It's a personal but utility vehicle. So the customers who are buying it, they're delighted with it, but there are not enough people buying it. So now we're working out how to spread the word better, how to get traction with people who would be able to use that product well. So it's slow but steady, and there's good traction, there's good interest. It's to convert it into sales is what we are working on now. So, but that's the thing. I mean, some things take off extremely well, some things are a bit slower to start with. Yet we have the gumption and the endeavor and the perseverance to continue and to focus and to make sure that we get the best out of it.
Last two quick questions. It's been quite some time since you have shifted base to London. How has been the experience so far? What are the learnings? And from here on, how are you planning to expand Royal Enfield globally?
Yeah, so many things. Being away for a year now has helped me in also prioritizing what we need to do. If you're in headquarters, you have hundreds of people coming in on a daily basis. You end up doing what comes on your table rather than doing what's important for the long term of the business. So I'm now able to focus on what's really important for the long term of the business. I'm spending time in international markets. I'm spending time with our technical center in UK, where a lot of the lead design, so even the product strategy is based out of UK. A lot of our industrial design is there. A lot of our new platforms are being developed there. So I go and visit our technical center frequently. And also, when we're entering all sorts of new markets around the world, it's great to be available and to, because we're selling a product which is nuanced, it's not your run-of-the-mill product. You have to get under the skin of consumers, what the cultural aspect of motorcycling is, what is going on in their minds today. So that's the kind of thing that we're also trying to decode while selling beautiful motorcycles.
You've recently unveiled a new center in Philippines. What are the plans for the new markets, Southeast Asia and other markets?
Yeah, so we're trying different things in different markets. So in Southeast Asia, as of now, we're really going in for a city-wise approach. So we had we put it a lovely showroom in Jakarta and in Bangkok all around 6 months ago. The Bangkok one particularly is flying. It's doing really well. Now the stores are so gorgeous, the type of work that we've done, the type of rides and activation events, that we're getting a really interesting set of people coming in. So basically in Manila we're following the same philosophy of having an outstanding store at an outstanding location with outstanding partners, dealers who are motorcyclists, who are working and who understand the brand. It's not a fast sports motorcycle, it's a leisurely, beautiful, all-purpose motorcycle. That's what it is. And the people who get that expand it. So right now we're at the phase of building brand in Southeast Asia. We, amongst the people who enjoy motorcycling, amongst motorcycling influencers, amongst motorcycling media, amongst all sorts of youngsters who would like to ride. So once we build the brand in the capital city very often, or in the larger city, then we have the opportunity to go to other cities in the coming time. So we have no rush to immediately get in there and sell 100,000 motorcycles. That's not the idea. The idea is to build a brand, and once we establish ourselves, I'm sure we'll sell a lot more.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.